Hey guys, welcome to the Sunday Power Shot with me. Okay, so last week we talked about, I think I did a call, well, I didn't do a call, I did a video on how we can reframe the way we're saying something, and that can give us a different result. So if we're constantly in that negative, I can't do something or I don't know how to, then you're going to stay stuck there. Whereas if you turn it around and say I will or I can and I'm going to, then you're going to be able to achieve those things that you want to achieve. Now, I wanted to add on to that this week because that had quite a good influence on people, that as much as I definitely believe that you need to put out there the things that you want and your goals, and I always tell people write those up and put them somewhere you can see them and all those sorts of things, because if you're writing them out, it has a significantly higher chance of actually happening than if you don't write them. And if you put them somewhere that you can see them, then you've got a higher chance again, because whether you're reading them every day or not, they're subconsciously there in your mind, being seen every day, and they start to happen. And funnily enough, I just spoke to a friend on Friday night. Our kids were at a school movie thing, and we're chit-chatting, and she said, I wanted to tell you, at the end of 2017, I made her sit down and write out the three main things she wanted in her business. So she was wanted to get pregnant with a second baby, big gap, but second baby, and her business is taking up significant amounts of her time. And this wasn't e-commerce, it's another business. And so I said to her, look, write out your three main things that you want to achieve. And anyway, so she did that, and that was the end of 2017. And now we're obviously mid-19. And she said to me on Friday, I came across those last week, and I wanted to tell you that they've happened. Like, all three of those things have happened, she said. And it's not even, like she said, I wrote them down like you told me to. She said, and then they got filed away in the cabinet or in a drawer. And she said, and I was going through the drawer the other day, and there they are. And they've worked. So one thing, she said, a little bit later than I wanted, because she wanted it by the end of 2018. But it's worked and it's happened, and, that's amazing. And I laughed and I said, not that I know, I said, but it's not the first time I've heard that. I've got a friend that put 10-year goal plans away in his early 20s and went back in his early 30s and ticked off all of them. And that was just sitting in his cupboard, didn't even think about it until he was cleaning the cupboard. So, that stuff does happen. But I'm also mindful of the fact that, this isn't woo-woo land. You can't expect that by changing the way you're saying something or writing your goals down and putting them on the wall, that it's all going to happen magically. You still have to put the work in. And by putting the work in, I mean, doing those exercises or an activity or an action that moves your needle towards that goal. So with the friend on Friday, one of her examples was she's a podiatrist, and we talked a lot about what does she really want from the business, because she's working significant hours, doing full days, 5 to 6 days a week, and then she was coming home and doing admin work, and it was pretty stressful. So I said, what do you want? She goes, I'd love to work 3 days a week. I'm like, okay, we'll write it down. And I can't remember the third one, but the second one was she'd like to have someone on that can do home visits for her. So the home visits were taking up a lot of time because she's got to travel around between the houses, and whereas the clinics didn't take as much time for her because there's multiple clients in one clinic each time. So anyway, she wrote those two down. I can't remember the third one off the top of my head right now, but those things did happen, all three of them. And those two particularly, but they didn't happen magically. Someone didn't just walk into her life and say, hey, can I do home visits for you? She had to go and actually put the work in. And that, for her, involved going to a recruiter and getting the recruiter to do most of the work and her paying for that recruitment, which made it easy for her with her schedule. But she had to take that action of find a recruiter and fill out the forms the recruiter gave her and answer the questions and then have the interview with him and then train him. And now she's in a management phase with him where there's certain things with clients that she's got to go through, but she's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel a month in, that she's getting less phone calls each week. So my point is, and by being able to bring him on, she's been able to come back now to 3 days a week. So my point is that it's great to reframe, and I definitely believe in the language that we put out there is what we receive. And I definitely believe in writing your goals down because they happen. But you also need to take the action. So I just wanted to remind everyone, it's really important to take action as well. So my question this week is for you to post or comment below. What's the next action that you need to take to move your business forward? So what's the very next thing? Don't worry about in 2 years down the track or even in a week down the track. What's that thing that you need to do today or tomorrow that can move everything forward for you to the next step? Okay, that's it. Sunday Power Shot. Over and out. Bye, guys.